A man who learned that sometimes life's greatest blessings come when we least expect them. Let me introduce you to Jack, a man just like so many of us. Jack was a hard worker, dedicated, and driven by the desire to do well. He was determined to make a better life for himself, but no matter how much effort he put in, it seemed like the world kept knocking him back down. In his small town in the Midwest, Jack was known for his persistence and his honesty. He worked long hours, did everything by the book, but still nothing seemed to come together. No matter how hard he tried, success always felt just out of reach. His dreams of a better life were slipping away, and it seemed like he was destined to live a life of struggle. One day, after yet another frustrating day at work, Jack sat on a park bench near his apartment, staring at the ground. He was exhausted, mentally and emotionally. The weight of his life's challenges felt like it was too much to bear. He had worked so hard, yet everything still felt like it was falling apart. As Jack sat there, feeling completely defeated, an old man walked up to him. Jack hadn't noticed him before, but the man's presence was somehow calming. The old man sat down beside him without saying a word. For a moment, they sat in silence, the kind of silence that spoke volumes. Finally, the old man turned to Jack and asked, "Do you believe in blessings, son?" Jack, taken aback, nodded. He didn't quite understand why the old man was asking him this, but something about the question felt important. The old man's eyes were kind, but there was something more, something deeper, as if he knew exactly what Jack was going through. The old man smiled softly and then spoke words that would stay with Jack forever. Sometimes your greatest blessing is hidden in what you least expect. It's never about the moment you're waiting for. It's about the moment you choose to trust the process. Jack didn't fully understand what the old man meant, but there was something so powerful about his words. They stuck with him, even after the man left without saying goodbye. Jack spent the next few days thinking about that brief encounter. How could his greatest blessing be hidden in his struggles? How could the challenges he was facing be anything but obstacles? But the more Jack thought about it, the more he realized that maybe, just maybe, the old man was right. Maybe his struggles weren't signs of failure. Maybe they were actually signs of something greater, a lesson in patience, faith, and perseverance. Jack knew that if he was going to find his way forward, he had to trust that everything was happening for a reason, even if he couldn't see it yet. A few weeks passed and Jack kept going. He didn't give up on his dreams. Instead, he focused on putting one foot in front of the other, trusting that things would eventually fall into place. But that's when the real test came. One day, Jack received a call from a former co-worker who had heard about a business opportunity. It wasn't exactly what Jack had been looking for, but something inside him urged him to take a chance. It wasn't easy. He had to dig into his savings and take a risk he wasn't sure he was ready for. But as the old man had said, sometimes the biggest blessings come when we least expect them. Jack decided to take that leap of faith. He invested in a small startup company, hoping that this decision would finally bring him the success he had been dreaming of. It was a risky move, but Jack had learned that life doesn't always offer easy answers. Sometimes you have to trust in the process, even when you don't see the end result. And then something incredible happened. The small business that Jack had invested in took off. What started as a modest venture began to grow, and soon Jack was seeing returns that he never imagined possible. The blessing, which had once been hidden in his struggles, was now right in front of him. Jack's decision to trust in the process had paid off, but even more than that, he realized that the true blessing wasn't the money or the success. It was the lessons he had learned along the way. The hard work, the perseverance, and most importantly, the faith that he had in himself and in the journey. He realized that life's greatest rewards don't always come in the form we expect. Sometimes the greatest blessings come from the challenges we face, the risks we take, and the moments when we trust that everything happens for a reason. Jack's story was no longer just about business success. It was about the growth he had experienced as a person. He had learned to trust in the journey, even when it felt like nothing was going right. So, what does Jack's story teach us? It teaches us that sometimes the hardest moments of our lives are the very moments that lead to our greatest blessings. It shows us that when we trust in something greater than ourselves, When we keep going, even when the road ahead is unclear, we might just discover that the blessings we've been waiting for were there all along. You see, life doesn't always give us what we want when we want it, but that doesn't mean we won't receive exactly what we need at the perfect moment. The hidden blessings are always there, just waiting for us to see them. Jack's leap of faith didn't just change his life, it changed the way he viewed the world. He understood now that blessings don't always come in the form of what we expect. They come in lessons, in growth, in the ability to persevere through the tough times, and in the trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to. If there's one thing you can take away from Jack's story, it's this. Trust in the process. Trust that the struggles you face aren't the end. They're the beginning of something greater. You might not see it now, but your blessing is waiting for you, just around the corner. So if you're struggling right now, remember Jack's story. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting. Your hidden blessing might just be closer than you think. And if this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. You never know, your own leap of faith might just be the beginning of your greatest blessing.